Gucci flip-flops, fuck it, hit your bitch in my socks. This a big watch, diamonds dripping off of the clock. Pull the 6 out, wintertime, dropping the top. Give it to they pussy ass, turn this shit up a notch. Gucci flip-flops, make a kick rock. This a big clock, check the wristwatch. Gucci flip-flops, fuck it, hit your bitch in my socks. This a big watch, diamonds dripping off of the clock. Bad baby, got these bitches bustin' for cash. Do the dash, try to play me, bitch, I'm bustin' your ass. Lot of gun sounds, rolling bust down. Know why these bitches mad, cause they trash and they fucking.
Welcome to Revolution Radio.
I had a reason for that.
Did you?
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, I don't understand that style of music. And it sounds like all styles. Like, me and my friends were just, like, roasting that new song by Bad Baby.
Which one?
That one.
That's not new. That's been out for...
I'm sorry. Her new outlet, 15, I think is what it's called. I don't know.
The album?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. What song?
I don't know. We were doing it on Twitch, and I wasn't playing it. But
Oh, you're a Twitch bitch?
Well, someone's got to carry on this torch while y'all are taking vacations and shit.
Twitch.
And time off. But, so, one of my friends was playing it, and so we were...
So you guys were playing it? That song?
Not that song, but one of the newer songs. And, I don't know, we were just roasting it, like how awful it really is. And, another one of my friends who brought up a point, he was like, yeah, but it all sounds like that now. It's all, like, mechanical.
Yeah, I agree.
And at least she's kind of funny. Like, it's funny because it's so bad.
Yeah,
I mean...
The music like that, I enjoy in the car, just to kind of... Or, like, if I'm gaming, just to kind of, like... It's like, I don't know, the beat is kind of... Like, it...
Like,
I don't like
this
her,
song
though.
makes me laugh so much.
That's the problem, though, is, like, I get into it, and then it's her. And
It is so bad.
Hi, bitch.
Okay, without
Hi,
sounding
bitch.
completely stupid, who is this?
Bad Baby.
Bad Baby, really?
Yeah.
Daniel Bergoli, or whatever.
The girl who's on
Dr.
Dr. Phil.
Girl, yeah.
Oh,
Catch Me Outside.
Yeah.
Seriously?
It's the worst shit. But then yeah.
But
okay.
That physically hurt.
I like Migos. Just because, like, not because their lyrics are trash. We all know that. But it's just nice to kind of put on and just kind of... I get down with it. I get jiggy with it.
And it's in your head.
But, okay, like, listen to this. Tell me if there's a difference.
Okay, but I like Cardi B.
It's the same shit.
Yeah.
No, I like dollars, I like diamonds, I like stunning, I like shining,
very
I like
similar.
million
Yeah, it is. It's
bills.
all, like,
Okay.
mechanical. And, like, the lyrics are trash.
Could have kept that playing. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the lyrics are trash. That's why if I want lyrics, I'll listen to, like, Logic or Joyner. Because those two guys are the shit.
Well, yeah.
But if I want just kind of laid back, just mind-numbing music, I go with that style. I like it, depending on the artist. Bad Baby, I hate. It's all around.
Okay, so that was the whole point we started to talk about. And I thought it was actually a good conversation. Why?
Why what?
Why is it if Daniel Bergoli, who I'm not a fan, but why is she trash, but Cardi B's not?
I think it's her voice.
But
But
I don't,
sounds
and I think I
okay.
also, just because I know her background, I'm gonna guess. I don't know. There's just some artists that I don't like. I couldn't explain it to you.
But like, okay, like, how do I put this? In fact, if anything, like they're both garbage people, without a doubt.
True story.
But one of them is kind of an icon, kind of. I don't even know if that's a fair point.
Who?
Cardi.
See, I think aren't they both considered icons?
How are you considering? I don't think even Cardi B would be considered an icon. I would push it.
I'm
a
using
little
your
bit,
words.
But like, I said, kind of.
Right, but
How would Daniel Bergoli be considered an
how is
icon?
Cardi?
Well, because she has like some pretty popular songs.
So does Danielle Bergoli.
Does she?
Yeah, if you're a Danielle Bergoli Bad Baby fan.
If you are, but I'm saying like, someone like me has heard of Cardi B.
You haven't heard of Bad Baby?
Well, yes. Okay, someone like Tanya who had not heard of Bad Baby has heard of Cardi B, right? Numerous times. Like
Yes,
and
I
somehow
have
she
heard Cardi
just
B.
got to be famous. We don't really know how.
Who?
Cardi B. I mean, she has a few songs. You never really hear them on the radio. My point is, though, is it's the same music. Like, the argument that used to be, like, why Winger sucks and why Metallica is awesome is because Metallica has great music, great lyrics, blah, blah, blah. Metallica didn't play Winger-style music, and people were still like, oh, well, it's fucking Metallica, so I love them. That is the thing I'm talking about. Like, why is it... They play the same style of music, they have the same lyrics, but yet one is loved, one is hated. Why? Neither one... In fact, if anything, Cardi B was drugging dudes and robbing them. Cardi B just had a really... Bad Baby just had a really bad appearance at Dr. Phil.
I get it.
Yeah, so, like, why is one...
I don't know.
I don't know. We were just talking about it. And we're like, I don't know. It's a weird thing with this generation. They don't even... And I don't want to play like, oh, the young kids are all stupid. But they don't even really like good music anymore.
No, they really don't.
I don't like the...
No, I'm going to agree with you because they don't... You know, and you could at least say some bands had really good singers. They don't have a good voice either. Like, does Cardi B ever sing a normal song?
Yeah,
Like,
not a
sing,
full song.
sing.
She does do some singing.
It's all produced, though.
I don't know what it sounds like live, honestly. On album, it doesn't sound bad, but, you know, you're also in a studio with a bunch of equipment at your disposal.
That's true.
And like, sometimes I think that's acceptable. Like the 21 Pilots.
Ah,
You can tell that they have to use a lot of... Like, but there's only two dudes. And they're making giant amount of sounds. They're writing all the songs.
he also doesn't put a whole lot of effect on his voice.
No,
And when he does, he sounds great live, too.
He does.
So-
The actual songs are a little...
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but again, you can't...
It's kind of like the whole Blink-182. Remember when California came out and everybody was pissed off because they were so produced?
Yeah.
And they were. Because live, they're...
They're not bad live, but...
They're not great live.
They've gotten better. I would say that.
They had all this time to be good, and they're just now getting better.
Well, I mean... Yeah, I don't know. I think it all depends on the venue, too. Because we're talking about, like, if you want to see Blink-182 with, like, 200 other bands, it's going to cost you, like, $50.
Yeah.
But if you want to see Beyonce or Cardi B or someone, you're paying a much more large amount. Even the 21 Pilots are like one of those Warped Tour bands, is what I call them.
Yeah.
Like, their gear and their stuff out on the tour cannot be that great.
No.
Not if you're paying, like, sandwich money to go see them.
Right.
But yeah, so I get to, I don't know, it's weird. We had this long conversation about, like, why that is that way. And it seems like even the good musicians, like Joyner Lucas, no one likes him, really. I mean, he's not big. He's not big.
A ton of people like
I can
Joyner.
bring him up, and, like, he's never anyone's favorite. Everyone, I feel like they think they have to like him, kind of like how Nas used to be. Like, oh, I gotta like him because he's intellectual, but I don't ever actually listen to him. I don't go to his shows. I don't put the effort in to be. You know what I'm saying? He's like kind of like Tool in a way.
Hey.
How, like, people
Choose your words carefully.
Like how people almost feel obligated to be like, oh yeah, I like Tool, but
Because they're in that phase.
not even that. Like, just because they like Five Finger Death Punch and whatever. But Tool is
Don't ever compare Tool to Five Finger Death Punch.
I'm not. I'm comparing the fans.
Oh.
You know how, like, oh, I'm just into hard rock. So just, like, by proxy, I have to like Tool. There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
You could start, you know, oh yeah, what's your favorite song?
I guarantee you it's
Schism.
either Schism, 46 and 2, The Pot.
Yeah, I mean, anything like H is like way too backlist for me. That's not even that old, you know.
Anything
crazy.
to H?
Huh?
Anything to H?
I said even H is anything too, like, you know, behind the curtains for them.
H? What do you mean? H?
The song H?
Oh, okay.
Apparently, I think I found another poser.
Label me.
Age.
Well, I didn't know what you meant.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, and I feel that way about a lot. We just were having a super deep conversation about it, which is really interesting.
I think to have a super deep conversation about.
I just went that way. You know, like as we were talking about,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, you make some statements and let's unpack it factually, and it's kind of where it unraveled to being. And then, you know, you do kind of go back into talking about like a Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera, and it's like, what did these people actually do to deserve to be that way? To be that big, that rich, that famous? Any of them.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'll even give Beyonce some credit because she has an amazing voice. But
Yeah, Mariah Carey.
at one point.
At one point, not now.
No, and she's older than dirt, so you can't compare her now.
Yeah.
But so who are the new people? I hate to keep
Like the new Beyoncés?
I hate to keep bashing on Cardi B, but that's like the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
Bruno Mars?
Bruno Mars isn't new.
New people?
was playing the Super Bowl like 10 years ago.
New people? I don't know.
Like, who's in the Cardi B category?
Oh, man. That's kind of the problem where you lose me, because I don't know. Like, I predominantly listen to metal and rock.
Okay,
So when it
Billie
kinda comes
Eilish
to-
is becoming famous.
Yes, it is.
Pretty much it's country.
Billie Eilish.
What?
Who?
Billie Eilish? I wouldn't put her in the Cardi B category. I don't think she's as big as Cardi B.
But she's on the rise, and she's a very good singer, and she writes most of her songs.
Oh, man.
But that's not Cardi B.
Right.
Cardi B doesn't write her own songs. If she did, every other word would just be a cuss word. She can't speak.
Yeah, I don't know if she does or not, honestly.
I don't think she does. I mean...
No.
I don't know.
She doesn't. I mean, just because... Look, how many times I've heard her talk, there's no way that she...
See, I don't listen to Cardi B, and I know that's really mean. I don't think she's a good singer. I don't think she's very good at rapping.
You remember how everyone was all excited about... Like, they were all like... I don't know, happy that she came out against the immigration thing?
Against Tommy Loren?
No.
Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe?
I
Was
think
that?
so.
Yeah.
And I will give...
Which really... Okay, go ahead.
But I'll give her that credit, but that she's still a crappy human, and she still can't sing. And at the end of the day, if I'm going to listen to someone, you at least have to have some kind of voice. Like back in the old days, okay, Tupac, he could rap and he could sing.
Tupac sucks. Ooh, let's see how much I can stir up with that.
No, actually, me and my friend Christine were talking about how we should make a video, antiquated to Cardi B and the immigration thing, where it's just like a video of like a bunch of Mexican kids in cages, and she's just shaking her TNA because that's all she did. Like she went on this rant,
Pretty much,
and then
I
like
bet
none
it
of
would-
her
people would
music
think
had
she
anything
really
to do
did
with
it,
any of it. She
and
just
they'd
did
be
it.
all excited that she had a new music
She
video.
just did it for clout. Like she didn't
Pretty
mean
much.
any of it. Like, or she doesn't write her own songs, which is my whole point. Like, if you are woke, you would think like.
How many new slang terms are you gonna throw out? Clout, woke. I don't even say that.
Dude, if they use them in the WWE, those aren't new terms.
Oh, they do?
Dude, you remember Matt Hardy?
Yeah.
He rejuvenated his character like 2 years ago as woke Matt Hardy. It was the worst.
So,
it was so horrible.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Just on the whole clout thing, the other day at work, my boss looked me dead in the eye because I had some work orders, some stuff needed done, and I told her, I was like, the only reason it's getting done today is because like I'm friends with these guys. She was like, well, can the other stuff get done? I'm like, no, they're busy. And she's like, well, you need to. She's like 50, mind you. She's like, you need to use your clout. You need to go talk to him. And as soon as she said that, I just shriveled.
That's how you know it's not new.
Nah, I don't know. I don't hear any older people say
Also,
that.
I mean, I don't think she used it right, because let's be honest.
But she attempted.
She
I'm proud of her, but I was also disgusted. So
I just shivered.
I know. I don't want to sound like a young, rebellious teenager, but I feel like there is an age limit there. You're cool. You're still a millennial, so you're still on that cusp where you can say it. You're out.
You're way too old.
You're about 20 years past the millennial.
I think
thing.
there's also
Wow.
there's so many words we probably don't know. I'm sure. Like once we know, I've been this way since I was a kid. Once I know them, people have been using them for years.
That's kind of how I am.
I've been an old man all my life.
Yeah. It's weird dating someone who's more, like, way more in tune with this new culture than I am. Because someday I'll just hear this new term. I'm like, wait, what? What does that mean?
Does it make you kind of hate her a little bit?
A little bit.
I was going to say, like, that's why I didn't hang out with that group. Because it's like, ugh, seriously?
We would have gotten along so well in high school.
We destroyed so many great words.
Like what?
Perhaps. No one says perhaps anymore. It's a great word.
It is a great word.
It's a fantastic word.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. See if you get this, because she doesn't. Her and, like, everyone else I know apparently doesn't get this. If I say, hey, what sounds more appealing to you? I don't know, burgers or pizza? And I say, yes. Do you get that?
I do. It's a...
Like, hey, do you want burgers or pizza for dinner? Yes. Do you know what it means?
I understand. It's an annoying way to answer a question.
It is, but I use it frequently. And every time she's like, what? I'm like, both. They both sound good.
Yeah.
Like, both options. Yes to both.
Yeah, if you said what's more appealing, then that would be a better...
Right.
Yeah.
But then it's always, well, no, like, which one? Yes. Well, you didn't say which one. I know. I'm aware. Never mind. Young kids.
Yeah, no, they did. And it's not just them. It's our generation, the generation before. There's just some fantastic words we don't use.
We need to go back to the old time lingo like I used.
Yeah. We should go back even further.
So the other day,
I do declare.
she was looking for something. I said, well, it was right in front of her. I said, well, you know what they always say, and she's like, what? I'm like, well, if you're looking for something, hang a lantern on it. And she looks at me, she's like, what is up with you in this old man speech?
Are you serious?
I'm like,
That is 1800.
Oh my god.
do you not know what that means? Have you
I
never
actually
heard that?
don't.
So it's basically pointing out the fact that, like, if you really want to hide something from someone, put it right in front of them. Because they never look at what's right in front of them. They're always looking where it could be hidden. So if you want something, hang a lantern on it, where it's most obvious.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but apparently it's old man lingo.
We call that, if it was a snake, it would have been.
Yeah.
See, I'm before that.
You are,
I don't
you are.
even say that.
You're before electricity.
Right.
No,
I went with a
get it.
lantern.
When there's that new radical Tesla running around.
Right.
It's weird, you know, because my kids were homeschooled till last
Tubular.
year. Wow.
I'm going to bring that back.
See, and
Tubular.
that's the thing.
You should.
Cowabunga.
I encourage that.
The boy
Cowabunga,
child
baby.
used to say cowabunga a lot.
Yeah.
My daughter said it was colder than a witch's tit the other day, and her friends stopped and go, how would you know?
Oh, God.
And she's like, I'm sorry, it's like so frigid. And they're like, well, why don't you just say so? And she called me and she goes, how old am I? Like 50.
Okay, to be honest though, the latter response was way.
Yeah.
It was way better than the first. The first one sounds like she should be driving a truck, you know, like for a living.
That's frigid.
No, I meant the colder
It's
than a
colder than a
witch's
witch's tit.
That's
Yeah.
something you would hear at a truck stop.
I know.
But the latter, I think, is.
It's hard
a
to
little bit
tell
more.
with those kids.
I'm surprised they knew what frigid meant, honestly.
Well, yeah, the other day, one of her friends said they were skirting their way towards to Scronic.
To what?
Scronic.
Sonic? The hell?
You
Why?
remember that.
See, I get skirt. Like, I use it ironically.
Are you going to skirt your way to Scronic?
See, that's the
See,
thing
that
is...
doesn't even make sense either.
Right?
I know, it doesn't. I'll say it ironically just to be a...
But like skirt
Jerk.
actually is like if you were to skirt an attack, you're evading it.
That's... No, but see, that's S-K-I-R-T. This is S-K-R-R-T. Skirt. Like the sound a car
See, I'm
makes
sorry,
when you
you-
swear... No, listen, like the
It's
sound
like
when
a
it's skirt,
screech.
like, skirt! That kind of thing.
It's a screech. It's not a skirt.
It's a skirt.
No, it's
That
not.
Listen, I get it. That's why I say it ironically, but skirt to scronic
Yep.
sound like you're stroking. You're scroking.
Kids.
But
don't
that's
know.
that's like taking over a word as well and just
Right.
respelling it. It's just
Right.
Kids.
Now that's
moronic.
90s though. Shizzle, nizzle, put a little drizzle.
Okay, but you can't do that unless you're Snoop Dogg. That's the thing.
My nizzle?
It's fine if you're Snoop Dogg. Anyone else who does that, they're not. It's not acceptable.
What did you just say?
My nizzle.
Oh my God.
I saw a
He
video.
couldn't say that if he said
Right.
it non-Snoop Doggy.
Racist.
Well, you got me. I saw a video of Snoop Dogg today and his adventure in the WWE. I don't know. He had the Hulk on one, and then the other, he just bodied this dude. It was awesome. Snoop's a badass. I think
Do you watch his show with Martha?
I have before, and I really like it.
I like
but
when he makes flower bouquets.
Right, and I think what's super funny is a lot of this new generation, even my generation, they're like, "Oh, he's such a wuss. He, he's got a show with Martha Stewart, but he was on trial for murder."
Yeah, do they realize that
Like-
Martha Stewart also is a
Right.
hardened criminal?
Right, like neither of them are softies.
No.
That's what I think is funny, because Snoop now does definitely seem like
Well, he's not so old.
right, but he's just like a fun old mom kind of figure.
Just like smoking a lot of weed. And
Right,
hanging out.
right. But they don't realize he killed a guy.
I mean, he didn't.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he did.
No, that was the case they gave him.
Nah, he killed him.
Were you in the courtroom?
Yep, I was there.
Then you would have seen the video.
He didn't kill him.
Who knows?
He should have.
I think you're being racist right now. Like, you want him guilty.
No, I just...
You just feel like one more
Black
person
man
with a lot of
just another.
melanin in their
I feel like,
skin.
what are you
Behind
really an
bars is
80s,
good for
90s
you.
rap artist if you didn't kill someone? Come on.
Or 90s football player.
Yeah.
Just saying. I saw this thing about how many football players committed murder. It was a lot.
I'm sure.
Wasn't the
like, you
Kansas City
forget-
Chiefs team rated the highest rapers last year?
No.
Nice. Good
God,
Chiefs.
no. Not the Chiefs.
I figured it'd be the Raiders. It's basically in their name.
No, because the Chiefs are like hardcore about like kicking people out.
And kicking people in the stomach.
Which, yeah, I don't know why they still have Tyreek Hill.
I don't know why he isn't, like, done.
I know.
He should be.
He should be.
Realistically, Ray Lewis should have been too.
Oh, without a doubt.
What was the name of the guy who beat his girlfriend up in the elevator? Why am I?
Rice?
Yeah, Ray Rice. He should have been too.
I mean, he was for quite a while, and then but he couldn't come back from it because he just didn't have the skills. So that's the thing about the NFL. If you have the skills to do it, you can beat a woman.
Yeah.
It's fine. You know.
So I wouldn't get away with it.
No.
You should stop.
I'm just
You couldn't do
asking for a friend.
Wow.
So, I think we probably should focus in on actual news.
Why
Are
do
you
you
sure?
do that? We have such a good thing going.
Talking about NFL.
Then here we go. Iran's getting bombed this. Kids in cages this. All of which are our fault.
For the most part.
Really?
No. So we had, as some of you might know, I don't think anyone in the studio is aware because someone slept all day and the other person worked all day. But the one thing that has been talked about for months is Mueller talking about his own report.
Yeah.
And he finally did. At the same time that he talked about it, he also announced his resignation.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of an important key that people aren't talking about as much.
I gotta be honest, my initial reaction, because I was Googling something else, I can't remember. And, it has,
How
like...
to get your member out of a bottle.
Yeah, it's tough when you're at work. And it'll have, like, the suggested trending stuff below it. That was it, and the first thing I saw was Mueller releases first statement on Russia collusion report, however they phrased it. I gotta be honest, my first reaction was, come on, leave it alone.
I mean, it was important that he finally talked about it because he hasn't at all.
Right.
And so
I'm just so sick of hearing about collusion at this point.
I
just-
think a lot of people are too.
The phrasing just deters me.
But anyway, so I got the... I'll play a good chunk of his statement.
Asked me to serve as special counsel, and he created the special counsel's office. The appointment order directed the office to investigate Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. This included investigating any links or coordination between the Russian government and individuals associated with the Trump campaign. Now, I have not spoken publicly during our investigation. I'm speaking out today because our investigation is complete. The Attorney General has made the report on our investigation largely public. We are formally closing the special counsel's office, and as well, I'm resigning from the Department of Justice to return to private life. I'll make a few remarks about the results of our work. But beyond these few remarks, it is important that the office's written work speak for itself. Let me begin where the appointment order begins, and that is interference in the 2016 presidential election. As alleged by the grand jury in an indictment, Russian intelligence officers who were part of the Russian military launched a concerted attack on our political system. The indictment alleges that they used sophisticated cyber techniques to hack into computers and networks used by the Clinton campaign. They stole private information and then released that information through fake online identities and through the organization WikiLeaks. The releases were designed and timed to interfere with our election and to damage a presidential candidate. And at the same time, as the grand jury alleged in a separate indictment, a private Russian entity engaged in a social media operation where Russian citizens posed as Americans in order to influence an election. These indictments contain allegations, and we are not commenting on the guilt or the innocence of any specific defendant. Every defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. The indictments allege, and the other activities in our report describe, efforts to interfere in our political system. They needed to be investigated and understood, and that is among the reasons why the Department of Justice established our office. That is also a reason we investigated efforts to obstruct the investigation. The matters we investigated were of paramount importance. It was critical for us to obtain full and accurate information from every person we questioned. When a subject of an investigation obstructs that investigation or lies to investigators, it strikes at the core of the government's effort to find the truth and hold wrongdoers accountable. Let me say a word about the report. The report has two parts, addressing the two main issues we were asked to investigate. The first volume of the report details numerous efforts emanating from Russia to influence the election. This volume includes a discussion of the Trump campaign's response to this activity, as well as our conclusion that there was insufficient evidence to charge a broader conspiracy. And in the second volume, the report describes the results and analysis of our obstruction of justice investigation involving the president. The order appointing me special counsel authorized us to investigate actions that could obstruct the investigation. And we conducted that investigation, and we kept the office of the acting attorney general apprised of the progress of our work. And as set forth in the report, after that investigation, if we had had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so. We did not, however, make a determination as to whether the president did commit a crime. The introduction to the volume 2 of our report explains that decision.
Okay, so what did you guys
show of hands
think
who stayed
about
awake?
I know, right? It is the worst.
I don't want to comment on anything
Today.
today, Junior.
I just want to say.
Oh, for real.
The Mueller report itself was as bland as you can get. But him speaking is even worse.
Man.
I don't know. What were your guys' takeaway?
Well, Tanya's throwing shit around. Pretty much what everyone said. There wasn't really much collusion. I feel like it was a very long way of saying there wasn't collusion.
I mean, he did say that if they had proof that he did not do anything, they would say it.
Yeah. But
I mean,
There's a follow-up.
obviously, if they had solid, hardcore evidence, they would have brought it out right away. And if they didn't, he should have. I feel like he's taking the middle of the road, that there could be some stuff that needs to be investigated more, but he's not the one doing it. We should be looking more into what President Trump has been up to, and the fact that he did say that there were Russian people acting like Americans. That should take note that it is out there happening.
right, and I think I think in a way he's trying to say like, no, they didn't outright collude. They didn't get the opportunity, but there was stuff in the process, maybe.
So here is the House Judiciary Chair, Jerry Nadler, talking about this, and I'll only play the first half of it because he drones on for a while.
Mr. Mueller and his team of prosecutors and investigators worked tirelessly to follow the facts and pursue justice to the furthest extent allowed. Although Department of Justice policy prevented the special counsel from bringing criminal charges against the president, the special counsel has clearly demonstrated that President Trump is lying. He is lying about the special counsel's findings, lying about the testimony of key witnesses in the special counsel's report, and above all, lying in saying that the special counsel found no obstruction and no collusion. In his statement this morning, Special Counsel Mueller reaffirmed his report. It found substantial evidence that Russia attacked our political system, that the Trump campaign benefited from Russian interference, that Trump and those around him repeatedly welcomed Russia's support, and that throughout the subsequent investigation, Trump sought to obstruct Mueller time and time again. Special Counsel Mueller today repeated 3 central points, which are critical for the American people. 1, the special counsel did not exonerate the President of the United States of obstruction of justice. 2, obstruction of justice, of which Special Counsel Mueller found substantial evidence, is a serious crime that strikes at the core of our justice system. 3, the Constitution points to Congress to take action to hold the President accountable for his misconduct.
I think my biggest issue so far is you can't say Mueller. 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 So basically he's saying, hey, he definitely committed obstruction of justice.
Yeah, and we heard the same thing. I'm not sure I actually heard him say...
You're talking about Mueller?
No, I'm talking about Nadler. I feel like he kind of took the ball and ran with it a little bit. Like, I didn't hear that Mueller said, oh yeah, without a doubt, we should prosecute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that was more of like an in the report thing. If you're referring to the speech we just heard Mueller give, no, I didn't hear anything about obstruction of justice.
That's what he was saying.
The big thing was, the big thing was the collusion with Mueller, but I think in the report, maybe, he may be referring, but he didn't quite allude to it properly. I don't know. But I agree, like, if he is talking about the speech, Mueller didn't say anything about obstruction of justice.
So that's a Democrat side of you. And here's a Republican
only proper side of you.
Judge Napolitano from Fox News. So
good.
We know where it's coming from.
His opinion matters a lot to me.
Never know.
If we had had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so. We did not, however, make a determination as to whether the president did commit a crime.
So that was Special Counsel Robert Mueller breaking his silence in the last hour, saying his office couldn't charge President Trump with a crime because of long-standing guidelines of the Department of Justice. Those remarks appearing at odds with what Attorney General William Barr said a few months ago, you'll remember, when he first addressed the release of the special counsel report. Here's what he told reporters then about his conversations with Mueller. Listen.
When we met with him, Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein and I met with him on March 5th. We specifically asked him about the OLC opinion and whether or not he was taking the position that he would have found a crime but for the existence of the OLC opinion. And he made it very clear several times that that was not his position. He was not saying that but for the OLC opinion he would have found a crime. He made it clear that he had not made the determination that there was a crime.
Let's bring in Judge Andrew Napolitano, Fox News senior judicial analyst. I mean, this discrepancy jumped out at all of us when we were listening. Is there any way to reconcile those two statements so that they both can be true? What Mueller said and what Barr said?
Let me start by saying I'd rather be OLG than OLC right now. My buddy Guy Benson has that role. There's no way to reconcile the discrepancy between the two. This is a he said. But this opinion of the OLC, and the OLC stands for Office of Legal Counsel. These are the legal gurus who do research for the Justice Department. When the Justice Department itself needs to know what the law is, where it's unclear, they get an opinion from the OLC. This OLC report is dated October 16, 2000, and it says that a sitting president should not cannot, should not be indicted while still in office because of material disruption to his constitutional duties. Guess what happened 60 days later, in late November and early December of 2000? The Justice Department charged Bill Clinton with lying under oath and obstruction of justice. And guess what he did a month later, 2 weeks before George W. Bush was sworn in as president? Pleaded guilty to lying under oath. This wasn't done by indictment. It was done by what we call an information. That's the document that's filed when the government and the defendant agree on the allegations. That tells you that this OLC report is advisory only. It is not mandatory. It's there to use or it's there not to use, depending on what officials want to do. Now, why did Bob Mueller take to the microphones today? I don't know. But this was not good news for the president because he's ginned up all the Democrats to believe there must be a there there. And it was a parting shot at his soon-to-be former boss, Bill Barr, who basically whitewashed what Mueller said in the four-page summary he distributed back in March.
Okay, absolutely. Judge Napolitano, thank you for...
And you can see that she was, I don't know, kind of trying to shut him up.
Is he trying to throw out as many terms as he possibly can? OLC, OG, whitewash? That's an information. For those of you who don't know what an information is.
Right.
And also, why can nobody say Mueller? His name is Mueller,
You
right?
mean Mueller?
I'm honestly questioning if I've been saying it wrong.
You have. It's Mueller.
It's Mueller.
Stop. Because at this point, I'm questioning everything.
But we heard from a Republican lawyer who was like,
but it even,
I don't know if I...
He said that under OLC law, well, advisory, that, not that he cannot, that he should not be indicted.
That Mueller can't, or should not.
The president.
That he should not.
President, well, that Mueller can't indict him.
Should not indict him.
Right.
Right. It's important.
We're saying the same thing, but different terminology.
Kind of. I mean, I think it's all...
He said, which was a little sexist, but okay.
What? Because they took she out completely?
Yep.
I mean, I think it's proof, though, that William Barr was lying about what was said.
Right.
I like that he brought up Bill Clinton. That was...
Well, it was relevant.
I was going to say it's a fair point. Because what did he say, 60 days, 2 months after they made the advisory, he was convicted?
He was impeached, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's incredibly relevant in the situation. I don't know, what... Do you guys have anything else on that, or...
It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good when you have Republicans on Fox News. And I know he wasn't the host, but it doesn't look good when the hosts have on a Republican where he's like...
Well, and Napolitano has often shifted against Trump a lot. And on Fox News. He has his own show, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
At least he's on there a lot. One of the two. But yeah, he has kind of he's not a Trump, but you're gonna hear like Hannity gonna come out and just twist
What
this
is the
around.
dude's name that we really like? I can't remember his name. The guy who is surprisingly like not Foxworthy.
Shep Smith?
Yeah, Shep Smith.
Wallace. He's also
No, Shep Smith. I'm curious on his take.
I don't know. You probably never hear it.
Yeah, probably not.
He's locked up in a cage somewhere.
With the Mexicans.
Yeah, that's where.
But
they
I
put
mean, it helps show that a lot of the Republican side, especially those like with Judge Napolitano, they're not 100% Trumpers.
No,
because they're not paid.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe he wants to get paid, so he's just gonna start.
Yeah, maybe. Be like, I'm going to be shifty until you pay me.
I do that.
I feel like it's ultimately, in some manner, if you're going to, especially with this president, with this Republican Party, if you're a Republican and you want them to win, you do push for impeachment trials.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because that base will react so violently that they will be up there voting in 2020 much more aggressive than...
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, we saw the thing with Brett Kavanaugh. Cody and I had the debate on here. I said, I think they should just let it go.
Yeah.
Let him in. Doesn't matter. It's going to happen anyway. And Cody, to his credit, was, you know, like, yeah, but think of the horrible things he's done. Can you put, like, why would you just, you know, whitewash? That's information if you don't know.
Yeah,
why would
right.
you just whitewash what he's done to this woman and potentially to other women? And it's a fair point, but... I strategically, I was like, don't worry, you know. And what happened...
And that's easier for us to say because we weren't, you know, the woman. Right. Of course she's going, but from an outside perspective...
But, and even then, nothing really changed. You know, I mean, I think with the hearings of Clarence Thomas, we knew that. Yeah. Well, and look, one of the people who was majorly proposing these disgusting questions of Anita Hill in the Clarence Thomas hearings was Joe Biden. And he's like everyone's favorite liberal now.
Uncle Joe.
Yeah, like, but he was incredibly aggressive and disgusting to this woman. Just, you know,
not that he's
not that long ago,
you know, completely clean himself.
Of course not. But and so you know that the whole Kavanaugh thing's not going to go anywhere.
No,
we forget and we don't care ultimately. But no, I think you almost push this just to rile the base up. So either you have war, or you do this. Because that base is very touchy. And
we've got war with Venezuela.
And it is going over like a lead balloon.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm glad. Thank God.
Next we'll be moving into Poland.
Right. We might try to change the people of Ireland next.
Right. Yeah.
We'll get them to shift. But you only have a few options to keep this base excited, and one of the things that Trump is losing massively on is this trade war with China. There is so many farmers and so many groups of farmers who are getting together to these Never Trump groups that won't vote for Trump because he's pretty much put them on a welfare system.
Yeah.
And farmers don't want to make their money that way, but yet they have to because now what a lot of people don't understand with these trade wars, certain farmers have lost connections to distributors, and it took them years to get them. And once you lose them, you may never get them back. And thanks to Trump, they're gone.
Yeah.
And so now they have to be subsidized, or they're not going to make a living, and that's ridiculous. So the heartland is not as Trumpian as it once was. But legal, as a progressive and as a Democrat, I think this is, I wouldn't say Democrat, but as a progressive, I think it's ridiculous to go after Trump and impeachment. Yeah. Tanya, you were talking about the social media imprint that Mueller was discussing. But do you know how many imprints were made? Namely, meaning posts from these Russians who are acting like they're American. Do you know how many?
How many?
4 million. Now you might be like, Jesus, that's giant. That's nothing.
For social media, it's really not.
Yeah,
I guess that's true. Yeah,
it's tiny.
I mean, Jay has like 6 alt accounts.
Yeah, you see what I'm doing for my push for my own campaign. No, yeah, it's tiny. If we wanted to do that, we could do that out of here. Just the three of us, just working together, trying to
It's true.
make this. Yeah,
Let's do it.
so it wasn't the Russian government that did that. It'd have been like a tsunami of social media entanglement if they were behind it. You can't say something we can do out of a living room
Right.
is gonna match what Russia would do. So
Right.
like a lot of that stuff, the case that I've always said, and it just keeps this. And I agree with you at the very beginning, Cody, when you were like, "I'm just tired of this." So am I, because like the case that just keeps covering, and the most important one is the one that's happening in the Southern District of New York, which is all about Trump's finances. That's where we're going to find a lot of stuff out. That's the one he's going to do some serious time on. That's the one we're going to find out the UAE paying him money to fire Rex Tillerson.
In fact, doesn't have as much money as he says he does.
Right. The stuff that he's done as a president to garner money. We were talking with ZTE.
Yeah.
And his, and all that, and taking money from them. Yeah, that's the important stuff. This whole Russia, who cares?
Right.
Even if he did play a part in it, so what? Like, I hate to be that way, but in a way, like, so what?
Absolutely.
Because, and ultimately, I feel like it always comes down to the Democrats unwilling to just admit we put the worst candidate up there. We, for some reason, thought that she was born for this. It's her time. No, it's not, stupid. Nobody likes her. Everyone wants her to go away. We don't want Republican light, which is what she was.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of that problem came from they wanted to see the first woman president.
That too.
Which, like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'd like to see it in my lifetime if they're a good candidate.
Yeah, it'd be great if Elizabeth Warren won.
Right.
Or Tulsi Gabbard.
Right. But she's not a good candidate.
She's not.
And that's what irritated me so much about this campaign was it was either, well, Trump has a backbone, so I'm voting for him, or, well, she's a woman, so I'm voting for her.
Yes, yeah. Nobody talked about policy at all.
Both of those points suck. Do not vote for someone just because they're a woman.
Yeah.
That is such an awful platform to go off of.
I mean, I think that in many ways, like, in many decisions, dating,
Exactly.
sex, whatever it is, don't just choose because of their genitals.
Right.
I thought you were going to say because they're a woman. I was waiting
a
for
woman
it.
with extra parts can often be a much better prospect than what you had before.
Of course.
No, and they're doing that with Biden right now. They're just shoving him down our throat.
He's shoving himself down a lot of throats.
Yeah.
No,
It's creepy.
I don't know. I agree with you. I am so tired of this stupid thing, and it's going to
And that's the thing.
monopolize the media for the next 3 months.
And I know it was big that it was his first report about it, but it was exactly the same thing we've been hearing. Yes, it was his first report, but that's why I didn't care, because I knew it was going to be the exact same thing we've been hearing, and it was.
No, Mueller acts like
Mueller?
he is a guy who is out with his wife and runs into his girlfriend.
Right.
You know? Like,
right.
Just not letting in on anything, very tight-lipped.
Right.
Not choosing a side.
Been there, it's tough.
We don't know each other, but we have hung out.
Yes.
I cannot say that I know this person or not know this person.
Anyway, let's get away from the collusion.
Getting away from the collusion.
Yeah.
You guys want to go to rocket fuel?
No, because I already know about that story, and that's depressing too.
But a lot of people don't know about that story.
I know. Tanya doesn't know about that story.
I'm sure she doesn't.
Look at her face. She's like, wait, what? What about rocket fuel?
And another reason why we really should be more focused on the real things about the Trump administration. The Trump Environmental Protection Agency wants to raise the threshold for chemicals found in rocket fuel, or a chemical found in rocket fuel, to triple the previous limit allowed in drinking water. This is the first new drinking water rule introduced by the agency since the George W. Bush administration.
But I bet it gives it a nice aftertaste.
Yeah, it looks it works a lot like Red Bull. Like after you drink it, you're ready to
Farting
run.
is fantastic.
I can't wait.
So in the EPA's latest move to weaken environmental and health protections, it released a notice on Thursday requesting public comment on its proposal to raise the maximum level allowed for the chemical I don't know what that is.
Let me see.
I should actually.
Perchlorate.
Yeah, perchlorate, which is linked to thyroid problems. And they want
Your
to.
thyroid's really not a big deal.
They're really not. They want to raise it from 66 milligrams per liter, which micrograms, sorry, 56 micrograms per liter, which is 3 times higher than what the EPA previously recommended as a safe level for drinking water, which was 15 micrograms. Now, the interesting thing is, though, is you had different states take on different approaches. For California, I believe it's like 6 micrograms.
Yeah, but why? Why is there different approaches? Why not just go as low as you can?
Yeah, why not just
Why
zero?
is this a thing? Why can't we just have clean drinking water? Why do we have to be like, I know you guys are going with 3 micrograms, but I think we're going to go with 7.
I mean,
It's 10.
see, so
Right.
the 15 mark was set and upheld, by the way, by the Obama administration. And basically they said if there's 15 micrograms per liter, there's very little effect to your health. That's what they said.
Right.
Massachusetts did their own study, and they found out, no, at 2 micrograms per liter
Right.
is safe. Which, when you think about that, that's what, 14 times
Yeah.
what we're saying, and like I said, California at 6. But the Trump administration, Trump EPA, is saying that taking that 15, which was high enough, and especially if you're talking about if
8
you're in,
times, by the way.
huh?
Be about 8 times, by the way.
Yeah. To 56.
To 56.
56
Nikes. That
micrograms per.
that's a lot. But
Which,
That's
yeah,
like
which is about,
that's like 32 times.
yeah, I was going to say like 28.
32,
yeah.
34.
By
But here's the thing. They have said we go 56 or just unlimited.
Yeah, screw it.
Yeah.
Let's just.
are we all gonna get third eye soon? Because that would be amazing.
No,
I
I mean,
have a
we'll
third
just have
eye, I listen
thyroid
to Tool.
cancer is probably what's going to happen to us if we're being honest. Nothing
Yeah.
cool happens with this kind of thing.
No. You gotta listen to
I'm gonna
Tool
grow.
to unlock your third eye.
In addition to
China's gonna get a penis.
In addition to rocket fuel, this chemical is also found in fireworks, airbags, matches, signal flares, some food packaging, and munitions.
Wait, some food packaging.
Wow, that's just what it says. Health risks from exposure include disruption to the thyroid's ability to produce hormones needed for normal growth and development.
You guys are gonna get boobies.
Along with, and here's the important one, potentially causing reproductive problems.
That's
So
okay.
all this time, no, I just want to go on.
How do you save the babies if your parts don't work?
All this time, we had Alex Jones and people like that going on
God.
about the frogs being gay, and that's what Obama's doing. His guy's actually doing that.
Yeah.
He's actually trying to castrate us chemically.
I know you're saying it to be stupid, by the way, but it's actually not. When you said that about how can you care about the babies?
Yeah, how do you?
No,
care
that's a
about
fair
babies?
point, though.
Yeah.
If you were really pro-life, you probably would
not
worry
allow this.
about.
I've said that 100 times
Yeah.
on this show. Like, yeah, if you want to start with miscarriages, then fix the environment
Right.
first.
Oh, God.
Can't worry about the babies. If you can't have
Chemtrails are
them.
real.
They are. Actually.
Yeah, they are.
I just love the look on your face. But yeah, so that's the 2 options that were given by the Trump administration's EPA, which is raise it 56 to 56 micrograms per liter, or possibly unlimited.
Do you think when he's out of office, he's gonna be somewhere and he's gonna I bet I should fight those what I did now, and just blame it on the next president? Like
Probably.
He did this.
Probably, I don't know, and that's become it's an interesting point and a deep point as far as being
Because
an
he knows
American.
what he's doing is
Well,
wrong.
of course he does, but he doesn't
But I mean,
care.
he's go- I do. I wonder if he's gonna blame it on the next person and be like, they didn't explain it to me in full.
Well, think about it. In 2012, he tweeted about how, well, you need to watch Obama because he's going to bomb Iran for not publicity, but for ratings,
For
basically.
clout.
Yeah. And look
now
what
Trump
happened.
wants to bomb
Yeah.
Iran.
His approval rating went way down. Oh, he's doing the same thing.
Yeah, but
I'm
I
just
don't
saying,
wanna
there's
mess
been
with
multiple
Iran.
things that he's
If
tweeted.
we're gonna bomb someone, I want to bomb someone good.
I want to bomb us. He's tweeted multiple things about Obama. Well, you got to watch him because he's going to do this. And a few of them he did, but then Trump did like all of them.
Yeah, I mean, just like the Assange reports that everyone was so in favor of on the right side, showing how many troops under Obama killed innocent people. But now we're seeing in 2 years of Trump being there, he's nearing the total of Obama's 8 years of civilians killed, which is ridiculous. Yeah, no, and on that, I think we should vote Hawaii, or we should bomb Hawaii. I'm just
Really? Why?
they're so snooty.
Yeah,
Like,
they already got wrecked with a volcano, dude. It went on for like 3 months.
It's actually getting ready to erupt again. It's shooting out. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, see, God hears me. He knows what I'm talking about.
Like, say no more. Waste no bombs.
Do you know how Trump could fix this whole Russian collusion thing?
Plug the volcano with his fat body.
Let's bomb Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Actually, it wouldn't be that bad.
That would be awful.
They don't have money. They're broke.
Yeah, it's because they spend a lot of money in military.
Like, we
And
should
allies,
bomb
too.
Russia.
Yeah, they would annihilate us. It wouldn't even be a war.
For those of you listening,
let's-
I just want, like every once in a while in a phone call where you know people are listening, just say, so Trump's bombing Russia, just to see what happens.
Let's be honest, we couldn't beat Iraq.
Yeah.
There is a fair point that me and Cody, with a couple lances, not even guns, could go beat Iraq at its strongest.
Yeah.
But our military tactics are so weak, we couldn't even
What
beat
about
Iraq.
Madagascar? I bet we could take them. They have a bunch of spears.
I don't know, they got those animals.
Yeah, they got like the turtles and stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Trump doesn't like turtles.
How do you know?
Well,
He doesn't like anything.
Well, he has to like some stuff. I mean, he's not the anti-everything.
he likes his daughter a lot. I know that.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, moving on from politics. How do you guys feel about
No.
your future? Well, obviously not you, but Cody. What are your chances, you think, of ever climbing Everest?
So it's funny you bring that up. Actually,
Is it?
yeah. No, I've actually been planning this trip.
So good news on one aspect.
That's gross.
You should be able to get certified to be able to do that.
Sweet, because I was gonna do that about next year, right when it's wintertime.
You should have no problem. There is a problem with this, is they are handing out tons and tons of...
Yeah, like anybody can do it now.
Pretty much anyone can get certified to go.
It's not cool anymore.
Nepal is just handing these out left and right. And let's be honest, Nepal's major economy is based on tourists. And they don't really have any other tourism site besides Everest.
I think anybody.
It's more wide open for you.
I think anybody should be able to do it.
So here's why they shouldn't.
No, go ahead.
I got you. So there has been a giant spike in deaths in people climbing up Everest. And the reason being is because about the top 500 to 1,000 feet range in that area, it's hard to say for sure, but definitely within the 500 to 0, or highest, however you want to say it, there's been a lot of bottlenecks because people want to take pictures.
Bottlenecks?
Yeah, because of so many people.
What's a bottleneck?
Like a lot of people trying to get into one space.
Like 15 people have actually died on their way up to Mount Everest because there's so many people with these certificates saying they can climb it. It's taking so long for people to take a picture, do group selfies, do their thing, and come down.
Just to get
so
prepped.
people are actually freezing in line.
Right.
And sadly, you can't take dead bodies down.
Right.
So they're actually walking by dead bodies they met at the beginning of the day.
Well, they did that before, but yeah, I mean, these delays are up to like 2.5 hours. And it's not just freezing. It's typically not freezing. It's actually
like
lack of oxygen.
15 to 20% oxygen, which...
So I want you to know, you guys just literally prove my point why I think anybody should be able to go up there. Because if you're stupid enough to do it,
Okay, fair point.
there you go.
You win, Cody.
less
I'm
people,
on your side
less
now.
people polluting the planet.
I am definitely on your side now.
That's true. So you guys were talking about Brett Kavanaugh earlier.
Maybe. By the way, let's do some math here.
Oh, God.
Not really, but maybe. If there's less people down on our level alive, because, you know, they're all dying up there, maybe that extra oxygen will go up, and instead of like 15 to 20%, it'll be like 25 to 30%, healthier ozone.
Oh, down below. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, up on Everest, because there's more oxygen down here, so it's like going up. So it's actually going to be like 25 to 30% better, healthier ozone.
How do you think oxygen creation
I don't
works?
know. I just.
You need one of
Do you
those
think we
buttons.
create oxygen?
Yeah, I think
We
so.
need one of those buttons whenever we do something really dumb where it goes. Ooh.
Cody thinks like we're all like half Groot.
Yeah. No, but really. I think if more people are dying down here, we have more room for trees. I say, if they have a certificate and they're up there legally, and like, let's just say, I don't know, they're living in a house by themselves, tear that house down, plant some trees.
We do need more trees.
We get more
and
trees
less
down here and
people.
less people.
But I'm kind of sick
I
and
mean,
tired of seeing all the dead bodies on mountains.
I'm
I
not.
feel like it's not space that's holding us back on trees.
No,
You know,
but we'd at least be replacing the ones that...
again, I think we would be.
I don't know, I'm just brainstorming here.
Right.
Make light of the situation, get a silver
I love
lining.
you.
We can get some more oxygen up in this place.
Oxygen?
Oxygen.
Wow.
It's a more fair point than, you know, the. So you guys talking about Brett Kavanaugh?
Right? Like,
Like, that was only a year old.
no, you were talking about him like 20 minutes
No,
ago.
I meant you know, we were running it parallel as a story, but like we weren't like focusing
Exactly.
on Brett.
on bread.
Him and his calendars, or what was it?
My calendar.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you guys, and you did mention Brett Kavanaugh's name. Yesterday, Alexandria Ocasio Cortes announced that she's getting tired of the harassment. And as we discussed, because Cody was one of the biggest voices out there about
Harassing Ocasio Cortez. I know.
no, about how Brett Kavanaugh should not be elected. And a lot of the throwback was that we as a country were harassing.
Easy, Mueller. Take it easy. Don't hurt yourself.
No, we're harassing Brett Kavanaugh. You know, Brett's a good guy. He didn't really do this.
Beer
He
for
has
Brett.
calendars. All his friends said he didn't do it.
I have all the reports on my calendar.
Well, that was the sickest and stupidest thing to watch this man cry and all this snot going
It's pretty
everywhere.
funny.
I actually, when I
like
first saw
the
that, I
beer.
still remember like thinking like, oh man, that's rough. And then like, because he was talking about his dad and the calendar,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh Jesus Christ. And then I found out his dad's like sitting behind him.
Yes, it's live.
Like,
I was like, it's in my calendar. I just really
pussy.
like beer. So you rape women. Okay,
Sounds about right.
you know, I've seen that correlation before. I've been
Yeah.
go Brett. Well, yesterday, Alexandria Ocasio Cortes has hit back against a minor league baseball team, the Fresno Grizzlies. They have aired a commercial for Memorial Day that was on Monday. And during the commercial, it talks about enemies of the state and then plasters a picture of AOC all over, saying she should go. She's the #1 enemy of our country. Well, yesterday...
Who owns this team?
It's getting get worse. Yesterday, one of her fans who likes her tweeted, just watching a really moving memorial tribute video, and then all of a sudden there's the Fresno Grizzlies at a game talking about how AOC is our #1
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm in my head. Like, yeah, go ahead.
is the #1 enemy of the state, and that she was probably hanging out with Fidel Castro and is making out with Kim Jong-un. This is seriously offensive.
What is she, Trump?
And it was all in the video. And the man, his name is Carmen George, goes on to say, it's seriously offensive editing. How dare you? Well, AOC has made an announcement. And she tweeted back, what people don't, or maybe they do realize, is when organizations air these hateful messages, my life changes because of the flood of death threats they inspire. I've had mornings where I wake up and the first thing I do with my cup of coffee is go through the thousands of photos and messages of men, and it's always men who want to kill me and how they want to do it. And it's now to the point where today she announced she has to hire Secret Service because her life is being threatened.
She needs to stop focusing on the negative, though.
Negative, right?
That's a bad way to start your day.
Is anyone else worried she's going to turn into a Danny here? Like, well, if I can't rule by fear, or if they don't love me, I'll rule by fear.
So, and she did, and she announced announced this, and she even went on to say that Fox News does not help when they talk about how she's making out with Kim Jong-un, who she doesn't make out with.
Okay, but let's be fair. And
She could if she wanted, yes.
I want an honest answer from everyone in here. Did she or did she not say that she was falling in love with him and that he wrote her beautiful letter? Oh, wait. No, that was Trump.
That was Trump. That was Trump. So Fox News did respond and said, we might have misquoted you.
Oh, good.
The Fresno Grizzlies have reposted that we are now aware of this situation and we did not make this video to hurt you.
What?
We're sorry for any threats you may have received.
Are they AA or AAA? No, okay. So as you
They're
guys,
minor leagues.
You guys may not know. Like
So-
I've been doing a stint in pitching.
Oh my
Actually,
God.
at a AAA team called the Tulsa Torpedoes, and they're owned by the Los Angeles Dodgers. And so I now know like all these teams are owned by bigger teams. I didn't know there was that many teams. Like the Dodgers
baseball.
owns like 4 teams.
Baseball's America's pastime.
So each team owns like 4 different teams. So that's why I was wondering who they were owned by.
It doesn't say who they're owned by, just that they're the Fresno Grizzlies.
By the way, it's an MLB 19.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Just so, well, Cody was giving me a look. But yeah, so I was
and
curious
here's the
who
problem
owns
is
them.
that so AOC has announced this, and she's making it perfectly clear that she's now having to hire security guards because of some of the death threats and bomb threats. A few of the Republican officers are now saying she's taking money from our country and that she should not be allowed these rights because she's making things up. I mean, how does that make you feel?
Wow, that's crazy. So, okay, so I actually knew that team.
They were really?
Because I think I got like 13 strikeouts against them. Because we're part of the Pacific Coast team too. No, they're owned by the Washington Nationals.
Are they really?
Yeah. So that
That's
makes
not-
a lot more sense.
that's
That makes,
not surprising
That makes
that
a
way
ton more.
they
That's
would
why I
make
was
a
so curious
horrible
who
video.
owns it. Because I was thinking, look, if the Giants own them, or the Dodgers, which I knew they didn't, but if a team in that area owned them, that would be stupid because most of their base is going to be left wing.
Yeah.
So that makes a ton. I wonder what the Washington Nationals have had to say about this.
It was released a couple of hours ago, but I mean, so all the lashback about Brett Kavanaugh and how his life is being ruined, this poor woman is having to hire security because of bomb threats, and the other side is pissed.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest. No matter which side you're on, unless you're just blatantly a crap person, that sucks.
But I mean,
Yeah,
what
Like,
exactly
unless
has
you
she
are
done?
literally just a crap person. Like, if you're Betsy DeVos.
Well, I'm sure she gets her amount of hate.
I know, but what I'm
I was
saying
trying to think
is-
of somebody like if you're what's his name?
Don Lemon.
Yeah, no, I'm sure Don Lemon doesn't get any hate. I send him like at least 10 articles a day telling him I want to kill him.
That's why he has all those old accounts.
Who's that guy? He's a Republican, or he's a Democrat, but he's really a Republican shill.
A Democrat that's a Republican shill?
Yeah, he's the one that broke my
Beto
heart.
O'Rourke?
Just about.
Oh!
He beat my boy Ojeda.
Yeah.
That guy though. That guy probably does not
The
get
fact
any
you do
hate.
the voice.
I'll look it up, because I know who you're talking about.
I keep thinking Rick Sanchez, but that's not it.
Is he Beto? He
And then
just
part
said
of me
Beto.
thinks Steve
How do you
Perry,
spell
but I'm pretty sure
Ojeda?
Steve Perry's not it either.
Richard Ojeda, right?
Ojeda.
EDA. Richard, right?
Yep.
I thought you were going to tell him it's Jetty.
I was gonna say KIDDIEPORN.
You're talking about...
Yeah, okay, Carol Miller. That's one too. That's another good one. But yeah, she's another example of like. I bet she gets no hate.
I wouldn't see people hating her because she's so...
Like, no,
Eh.
and not to be like
It's one of those
dismissive.
old-fashioned words Cody liked. Is that wishy-washy?
Wishy-washy. Shifty.
Yeah, and not to be dismissive of AOC's complaints, because I think they're well-founded. But when you try to destroy,
The perfect
giant
system we have going.
I was going to say American oligarchs, and and correct things and give power back to the people. Yet you're going to get a lot of hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that she shouldn't have to be dealt with like so much of this, and she definitely shouldn't have so much of it coming from just like the average person. But apparently, it's not. If that came from a team that is owned by
baseball team, yeah.
they're still owned by the Washington Nationals. Who I'd be curious who owns.
I gotta
that
be honest.
team.
When you said minor league, I instantly thought of a bunch of kids.
I mean, Little League.
Yeah, and I was like, all these little kids really hate AOC that much.
She's Mexican. Put her in the cages.
Right.
Wow.
I was like, well, okay, whatever. I know that the parents can be really bad, but dang.
Yeah, their T-shirts all have like a red circle with AOC's face and line through it.
That'd be cool. I'd like one with a sickle and hammer on it personally, but
They're just mad because they thought that she didn't clean their house right last time.
Did she look like their housekeeper?
no.
That was the joke.
Yeah, I
Thanks
know.
for that.
You're welcome. Oh, see, we need that slide whistle. Ooh.
No, it's Mr. Superman not here right now.
So, got something that would make Cody happy.
Is it about Yellowstone? Because I was going to do that later.
Well, I mean, we're running out of time.
There's more on Yellowstone? I haven't even heard
anything.
anything.
To be honest.
Is this thing gonna blow up or not? Like at this point, I'm not even
he's
worried.
starting to get nervous.
No, I'm
It
honestly
is.
just.
It's gonna happen.
I'm honestly just more annoyed at this point.
They're
Like,
hoping like in the next 2 years it happens.
like just do it or don't.
Actually,
I'm tired of waiting.
This has nothing to do with it. It's just that your hatred of the climate and everything that we
There's a
stand
big
for.
Sharknado
Climate.
headed towards
I hope so.
So,
Yellowstone.
at 6:45 a.m.
Woohoo!
on March 1st, 1954, which is incredibly important to all of us. That's so relevant.
Because that's where my language comes from.
That's where your first boyfriend came from. The blue sky stretching over the central Pacific Ocean was split open by an enormous red flash. Yeah, I don't know why they're writing so.
Red
That
Flash?
is fantastic.
Is this a
Keep
Marvel
going.
movie?
I know, this is ridiculous. Within seconds. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Within seconds, a mushroom cloud towered 4.5 miles high over Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands. The explosion, the government's first weaponized hydrogen bomb, was 1,000 times as powerful as the little boy atomic bomb that flattened Hiroshima.
That's what I call Cody the little boy bomb.
So the thing is scientists had underestimated the size of what became known as the Castle Bravo test, resulting in an explosion that was 2.5 times larger than expected. Radioactive ash dropped more than 7,000 square miles from the bomb site, caking nearby inhabited islands. Within hours, the atoll was covered with a fine white powder-like substance.
What was it called? The bomb?
It's known as the Castle Bravo test. The Marshall Islands health minister would later testify, according to the Atomic Heritage Foundation, no one knew it was radioactive fallout. The children played in the quote-unquote snow. They even ate it.
Wow.
Oh, good. Thank
The
God.
1954 explosion was part of a nuclear test conducted as the American military lurched into the nuclear age. From 1946 to 1958, 67 U.S. nuclear tests pulverized the tranquil reefs and islands of the Central Pacific. International pressure finally halted the tests, but the damage was done and continues to this day. That was the message reiterated by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on a recent tour of the Pacific Islands to discuss climate change. In Fiji on Thursday, he told a crowd about the huge kind of, quote, coffin built by the United States in the Marshall Islands to house the deadly radioactive debris from the 1980s. The structure, however, was never meant to last. Today, due to separation and rising sea tides, is dangerously vulnerable, and a strong storm could breach the dome, releasing deadly legacy of America's nuclear might. And there is a picture of it as well, and you can see
Yeah.
that there's a lot of nuclear fallout, nuclear waste just buried in the Pacific Islands.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, America.
Yeah.
Hey, at least we won't have to deal with it, right? And we don't eat fish, really. We don't really,
We don't breathe air.
No, of course not. I've always wanted a third leg.
When do they think that'll go?
That's the thing. Like, if there's a big storm that hits and knocks, like, it could cause it to open up.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Earthquake. Hurricane.
Okay, cool. So it's just like
It is.
look at it
starting to
wrong, and it's kind of
right.
like,
Yeah. Insulted. You know. Send Joe Biden down there. Who knows what he's able to do?
man, that'd be crazy if, as like a mad kind of thing. Like if someone was just kind of, like if Putin finally lost his mind and he's just like, I'm over it, and just bombed it, just dropped a bomb on it.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, think about like a crappy country who doesn't have the military might.
Yeah.
But like, they could send a warhead in there and just hit it.
Yeah.
And it would cause it to explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we basically set up, like, you played a lot of first-person shooters, right?
Oh yeah.
And when like you're going after the bad guys, you never stand by the oil drums.
No.
Because those will explode.
The red ones.
Yes, and you're
It
gone.
usually says flammable on it.
You're done.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We just parked one next to us.
Yeah.
That's not a big deal.
No.
So wait, is the Pacific Islands on the
The Pacific
east
side.
Yeah.
or the west?
Like, we're pretty far from it. To be
No,
honest,
but like it's on the east coast, isn't it? Or is that the Atlantic? I really don't know. I'm not good with this.
I'm pretty sure my son knows this.
No, really, like I don't know.
You don't know which one?
No,
is on the
I
east
don't.
Let me get you a map.
I know which one's east and west. I don't know like which ocean is which.
There's a city in Georgia.
Okay. I feel like you could just tell me and make this so much easier.
I'm trying, but I'm not at the same time. Can you think of a giant metropolitan that has a giant airport?
Atlanta.
And what side's that on?
East.
Yeah.
Okay. So my point is basically that we had... Oh, let me see this. This is cool. Wow, we have that many oceans. Oh, wow.
Yeah, really?
We have so many more oceans than I thought we did.
There's
I really
like,
thought, like,
There's like
Arctic.
5.
I thought there was only like
7.
No, that's how many continents. No. 1,
8.
2, 3, 4, 5. But, so my point is that...
I thought like 30% of the Earth was covered in
Okay,
water.
but that was the Atlantic Ocean map. There's the Southern Ocean is what he counted.
Isn't it? There's the Arctic up top, so why can't Southern be one?
Southern Ocean.
It's
Well,
the
but then
Southern Ocean.
But then the Arctic could just be the North Ocean.
Fuck.
Why couldn't it? Why couldn't it?
This
if there's
guy-
a Southern Ocean.
This guy is a product of private school. I mean, a ton of money put into your education. What side is the Atlantic on?
Listen, that's just not one of those things I could tell you off the top of my head. I don't even remember what my point was.
Let me ask you a question. The Polynesian Islands, are they closer to Australia or China?
I don't even know what those are. Polynesian?
Yeah.
I thought that was like a Assassin's Creed thing.
You mean like a mythological place?
No, they start with a P. No, not the Persians.
Parisians.
I don't
Paris.
know.
No,
So-
Persians.
Are you mad
That's
at Paris?
Parisians.
Lord. You know what's funny though is if Cody turned this around, I would
know.
be just as screwed. I don't know.
Dude,
I
yeah.
am awful at geography.
Right? So, is this thing on the Atlantic or the Pacific coast?
Pacific.
Oh shit! So we got Yellowstone and that thing on the. Oh man, that whole side's just doomed. Not that like if either of those went off, we'd all be doomed. But
Yeah, I mean, we are lucky though, since this is a flat Earth. We have no real concerns to worry about.
so it should just go up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're good.
Yay, flat Earth. What if we were donut hole Earth? Do you ever see donut Earth?
I mean that'd be cool, but
I really want.
I'm pretty sure that would be easier to prove than flat Earth.
Yeah.
Because that kind of means that, like, Africa's just in the hole, which
we all thought that.
I mean, come on. It's dark down there anyway.
By the way, U.S. has reported that hate groups rose 30% in recent years.
Cool.
So, yeah, backing that up a little bit.
Why wouldn't they?
No, so for the next story that I think also kind of includes of what I just said, and a quick little one.
Please don't do more geography, because I...
No, you're good. You won't mind this one. In fact, you might like this one. A Pennsylvania judge was sentenced to 28 years in prison in connection to a bribery scandal that roiled the state's juvenile justice system. Former Luzerne County, I guess Luzerne County Judge Mark Kayavia, I have no idea how to pronounce his name, was convicted of taking $1 million in bribes from developers of juvenile detention centers. The judge then presided over cases that would send juveniles to those same centers. The case came to be known as Kids for Cash. Which, by the way, I would prefer that commercial over that, Cars for Kids commercial.
Like trunk for... trunk or treat?
No, Cars for Kids. That annoying...
Oh, yeah, for the blind kids.
Oh,
yeah.
Which, why do blind kids need cars anyway?
It doesn't even go to blind kids. It actually goes to Jewish kids.
Nice.
I just hate the commercials. Anyway, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court tossed about 4,000 convictions issued by that judge between 2003 and 2008, saying he violated the constitutional rights of the juveniles, including the right to legal counsel and the right to intentionally enter a plea. The judge was 61. He tried and convicted of racketeering charges earlier this year. His attorneys had asked for a reasonable sentence in court papers, saying in effect that he's already been punished enough. Has he?
Okay, I don't understand why it's wrong to sell children.
Hold on.
You need to stop.
The media attention to this matter has
too.
exceeded coverage given to many and almost all capital murders, and despite protestation, he will forever be unjustly branded as the Kids for Cash judge. Which I feel like is really,
That's horrible.
Look, if
he seems like a nice guy.
If he, jumped in the way of a train to save somebody, then maybe he could change his legacy. But at this point, that's the biggest thing he's done.
Yeah.
What else are we going to know him for? The courthouse in Scranton was overflowing this morning. More than a dozen people who said they had been affected by the judge's decisions stood outside awaiting the sentencing. Jeff Pullins was in the crowd. His stepson was convicted by the judge. These kids are still affected by it. It's like post-traumatic stress disorder. Later, going on to say that many of these people who enter the juvenile system will only... they have about a 70% chance of actually then winding up in adult corrections. Once that legacy has been set for you, that you are, in fact, a criminal, you will... continue to be a criminal, becomes, I guess, a self-fulfilling prophecy, especially at such a young age. So, yeah, sentenced to 28 years. Not that it's pertinent, really, to this story, but a majority of those children were black.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what I thought Jody would appreciate.
Yeah. I respect it. You gotta do what you gotta do. Clean it up.
I understand that a bunch of them were 7, and they were probably out there, playing with fireworks, but my God, if you stick them in jail now, they won't play with fireworks later.
Yeah, but they were probably walking around with their pants hanging too low and listening to that rap music.
Those are the ones you gotta watch out for.
As Joe Biden once said, those people are,
Fun to lick.
They are predators, and we should be dealt with. No, not that color. He doesn't like that color. He likes the vanilla.
Cody always tells me that the black people taste like chocolate.
Why did you wink your eyes at me? I'm Mexican.
Really?
It's a different flavor altogether.
Just tastes illegal to me. Forbidden fruit.
This tastes like LSD.
Wow. You guys are great.
Oh.
So today, a lawsuit was filed with Delta Airlines.
Delta. At least it's not United where they're like dragging people off the plane.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Worse.
Do you remember that, by the way, like 2 years ago?
course,
Okay,
yeah.
so I want to point out, every time that time of year comes around in my Facebook memories, all the memes that I shared come up, and they come around this year. It was like 2 months ago. I gotta say, out of everything that's happened in the last 5 years, those are probably my favorite memes that have come out. I mean, they dragged some doctor off a plane and beat him mercilessly.
He deserved it.
They killed the bunny. They put him in the cargo hold and just like let him die.
Let him die.
He
I just
couldn't
think it's
breathed if he tried. I mean,
like there's this video that someone made of new slogans for United, and one of them, my favorite one, was "Board a doctor, leave a patient."
wow. No, but sadly, Delta, they gave their employees new uniforms.
Ooh.
Right? Last year.
I hope the guys have boy shorts.
Yeah.
Some Daisy Dukes.
God, I love that.
Super, super tight.
Yeah. Balls just hanging out everywhere.
Last year, they bought all 60,000 employees uniforms, and they were called Delta Plums. But what they realized was shortly after the employees started using these uniforms, the purple dye would leak onto the skin.
Oh.
And they could not have that because it looked bad to have purple colored people.
Is that Grimace bringing me a Coke?
So they quickly changed their uniforms to all new fabric. Well, it has been determined that 1 in 3 people are allergic to the fabric and the color dye. A lot of the employees have rash, 3rd-degree burns, and 2 people have died because they can't breathe in the dye.
What kind of
material.
fabric are they using?
Also, why do they keep wearing it?
It's a form of spandex.
Like, I'm not trying to blame the
Right.
workers, but I don't
I
know.
know.
So I've been using this stuff called KT tape, which is like a kinetic tape. James Harden wears it.
Yeah.
It actually has really helped my shoulder.
Yeah.
And I can't lift my shirt because I'm wearing a dress shirt. But if I could show you,
You can
I
take
have
it all off.
boils all up and down my arm
From what?
from that tape.
You're wearing it right
so
now.
what did I do? No, this isn't a tape. This is a brace.
Oh.
So what do? I don't wear it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a case where like they forced them? Like, hey, you have to wear
Yes.
this, and they were like,
Probably.
look at that.
My
Well, and
boob
that's
is
how
falling
it
off.
was. And that's how it was determined. Several of the women and several of the men refused to wear it. And one of the men came in with a different uniform that was very similar to what the new ones looked like. And when questioned, he had boils up and down his chest and all over his neck. So they sent him home with the thing that if you did not come back in your proper uniform, you would be fired.
Wow.
So after
The thing that you didn't hear though is that his uniform said Delta sucks.
But yes, they've had several allergic reactions, and doctors do not understand why people are having such a reaction because they're not releasing what is in the uniforms, other than it is a form of spandex. So Delta now has several lawsuits going on, and hopefully will be changing their uniforms. People are complaining they'd rather be purple than not breathing, and Delta does not understand why.
I get it.
I'm torn on both sides.
It's hard though, because what are you gonna do? Just quit?
Well, and I also feel, you know, if you worked with these people, like it's easy to say like a baseless corporation would do that, but like I don't know, if I was a manager and someone like had boils I would be like whoa, you know. And
Yeah.
I figure like most people are people, you know. I know that sounds like a stupid comment to make, but no, like that's
Yeah,
your
real
average
people.
dude. You work with that person all the time. You would be like, no, man, don't. What, can we put an undershirt on? Can we, you know,
Right.
complain to the company and be like, hey, what's going on here? And why Delta would take the hit for this company who made the uniforms?
Right?
Like, certain things aren't adding up to me. Because why would they?
Think enough people coming into work looking like the Elephant Man. And
Yeah,
like,
like, whoa. I want my money back.
yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of pictures online from the chest up, and they said that the pictures from the waist down will be presented in court.
Oh, I wanted to see those.
Also,
Right.
not to mention, as a passenger, you think that hurt, or as a business, you think it hurt business because of the passengers. I
Like,
wouldn't
if
want to
Cody
fly.
was my flight attendant, and he had this boil oozing
Yeah,
pus.
but not
Of
just
course, why would it
me.
be on his face?
Not just me though, because like, I get if maybe like one dude has a weird boil, be like, okay, that's kind of gross, but maybe he just has some skin problems. But like, if all, because there's what, like 6 or 7 flight attendants on there
If
usually.
half of them have something.
If all of them, it sounds like every single one of them's just
I'd be like, hey,
mutating.
Can I have a mimosa? Yes, sir. Here you go. Oh! Start handing it to you.
Right? Like they're in a
Screaming
bad
at
burn
pain as they
accident,
talk,
you hear
yeah.
their skin just crack. I wouldn't want to fly that, because then I'm like, because if I don't know what's going on, maybe I'm just like, oh, maybe there's like a sickness going around, because I'm not.
Not to mention, every one of them probably moved like a 90-year-old.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
like
I'm
little
sure.
shuffle
I'm
steps.
sure they hurt.
Because they're just screaming. Oh, my crotch.
As they're getting ready to like land, and they have to go through. All these people are just sleeping.
So you wouldn't take anything from
All these
them?
people are just sleeping. They're just here. Oh my god!
So, like, if you ordered a whiskey and they brought it to you, you'd be like, no.
I would.
Actually, I would continue to order stuff from them.
That'd
Have
be
you,
fun.
do you guys
I need you to
remember?
go all the way to the front. Tell my buddy Jeff.
Do you remember the movie? It was Scary Movie 2.
Take my good hand.
The boy
That's my
child
strong hand.
and I went to a McDonald's in our area. Like, I don't want to say which one because
Okay.
it wasn't in our city. It was in a
That's
different
too
city.
bad.
This doesn't matter.
I was gonna go hang out there.
It was like,
He's always wanted
30
what an
miles
HJ
away.
would be like from that.
and
Yeah.
we pull up and we had ordered like flavored coffees. And this guy opens it with his strong hand
Oh god.
and he goes, "Can I help you?" And I was trying so hard not to look, and my son's like, "It's his strong hand." And I'm like, I would like to pay. So I hand him the credit card. He goes, like, out the
Oh,
way. And it was, his arm didn't move all the way. So I had to come out the window. And my son was like, did he just do that? And it was so...
Why didn't he use his other arm?
And it was purpley and deformed and small. And then he brings us our drinks, and he has a drink in his strong arm and his elbows out, and he goes, "Can you reach that?" I didn't really want
No,
to.
I don't want to catch that. Whatever
Like,
it
I
is.
made the boy climb over me to get to... It was weird. Do you think that people do that shit on purpose? Because it was messing with me, and I try to be very
I would.
respectful
I'd probably
I
have
would,
fun
yes.
with it.
of people with disabilities, and it was obvious that it was... Just hand it to me.
Yeah, I mean, not like that I'd be happy about my situation, but I'd try to make light of it. Like,
Yeah.
I'd mess with people.
I would play Who's a Trump Voter.
Yeah.
It gives me a bad look and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, which apparently...
Yeah.
I was trying really hard to be nice.
What
but
was
I
wrong with
couldn't.
his other arm, though?
Nothing.
Why didn't he just take the
was
card with that?
freaking nothing wrong. Like, it was a perfect arm.
I grew up with a guy like that,
Yeah, I know a guy like that.
and he is a master at Mortal Kombat 2 on the arcade. Destroyed me. Yeah, I thought I could...
Oh, I know who you're talking
I went up
about.
against him because I thought, like, oh, I'm awesome. And I was. Just shellacked me.
I know
mean,
exactly who you're talking
it was
about.
devastating, my
He
defeat.
kind of walks with a limp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even tried, like, that sweep move that you do all the time.
Yeah.
No BS was working. Like,
I
just
tell you what
crushed me.
is really fun. I'm not gonna say names, but I will say this: of the friends that are females I have on Facebook, I see them comment on like all of them. One of our friends in particular, I see him putting some moves out there. Listen, not an attractive man, but he's got confidence.
That's important.
He's gonna limp his way into some
Oh my
DMs.
god.
I think that's what's important is confidence.
Absolutely, it doesn't get him
Think
anywhere,
so?
but confidence counts.
I think it does.
I don't think so.
Because you want to know why.
Why?
No, I mean...
Don't tell me he's like dating
As
this
the
10.
girl, you want to know. You're like, why does he have so much confidence?
Like, does he have a foot long? Because I'm not into that.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna hook up with him.
You should.
I need to know.
See?
Like,
That's
I
what
would
happens.
stop right about 7, because if you go bigger than that, you're going to hurt.
No, I'm committed at that point.
Wait, what do you mean he's going to hurt?
Yeah.
Cody's
come on.
been doing 8 since he was 8.
I heard you were a power bottom.
I am. I'd put it down from the downside.
Raised that way.
Because you wear your hat backwards and to the side.
No, I don't bend over like some people.
He went from diaper to adult diaper.
Oh, gross. Oh.
I have a bag now.
Are they ugly?
What? I'm not talking about my girlfriend.
Talking
talking about the bag that I wear.
Yeah.
And I'm still not talking about my
the
girlfriend.
replacement with his small intestine.
Was that a colostomy?
Yes.
Wear it like a glove.
Last boyfriend looked
Now I'm
like
talking
the
about my girlfriend. Wear her like a hat.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. That actually made me cringe a little
Okay,
bit.
I know it's like kind of off topic. You guys have a chick with a colostomy bag. Would you stick it in there?
Absolutely.
No.
I want to know.
I won't do butt stuff because I'm too weird
Wait.
about it.
Technically, it's by her belly.
Are you talking
button.
about in her, like, put it in her butt or put it in the bag?
Like, put it in the
bag.
the new hole.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, because that one would be looser. I mean, I'm just asking.
Totally.
Do you think it's just a gaping hole?
You want to talk
Is
about...
that, is that how you think that works?
You want to talk about being in their guts. That's how you do it.
Like, I've tried, but yeah.
You tried?
You understand that's not there, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But a man can dream. I can make it there.
It's more like a created sphincter.
Can you imagine if you're dating someone like that and you wake up in the middle of the night, they're just kind of like playing with your colostomy hole? It's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to get freaky. Turn the lights on before you do next time.
Like, I don't know, because I've heard of.
Do they fart out of that thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be so weird. You're just walking in their sight, wearing under their shirts, when like their shirt lifts.
Okay, but to be fair, haven't you, with gas and stuff, haven't you basically farted in your stomach before?
Farted in my stomach?
It
Like
makes
your
a
stomach
it
makes a
makes a
noise?
farting sound. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
It's just like that.
I'm guessing.
That's super disappointing.
I mean, because we have a friend that has one, and sometimes they talk about how they roll over and the bag falls off. And,
Yeah.
Ugh.
It'd be horrible. No, that's one of the things I don't want. I mean, there's not a lot of things that I do
Right,
want that would be
yeah.
awful, but like that's one.
Ugh.
Stroke is another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, stroke would be awful.
Yeah.
like, but only if it's like on half the face. Like, the whole face isn't so bad. But if it's just half your face, where you're like happy on one side and you are on the other.
You look like Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
You're an amazing actor, but just hideous as
Yeah.
hell.
It's not a good thing.
Yeah, I don't want to be having. I mean, I don't want to be eating. A stroke in general would just not be cool, but.
What just left your body?
I tried to hold it in. That was hurting though.
It was an inside. It was an inside fart.
Yeah.
Oh, Cody. Cody, do you have any stories today?
Man.
Anything of utter importance?
No, because actually all the ones that I was prepared for, I got from him. So.
Okay.
I shouldn't be your only news source.
I know, but you're the only news source I trust.
I'm not that trustworthy and that good.
Alrighty, well, from us at Revolution Radio, I am... Oh, before we go.
Wow.
This weekend at the Looney Bin is Cody Woods.
I'll
Super
be
funny
there.
guy.
I'll be there 7 to 9.
So we need to talk about with some of our fans. One of us shares the Looney Bin stuff, and one of us might have mentioned that when you go to the Looney Bin, you should give the manager guy Biggs a hug and rub his head and kiss him. Apparently he doesn't like that.
Really?
Maybe that person shouldn't do that.
Because apparently some fan tried that.
Of course they did, though. You know there's going to be one.
So half of our friends at the Looney Bin say, please don't do that. And the other half say, if you do that, you should go and do a reach around. So you guys figure out what you want to do.
Give her some long arms for that.
Yeah, for real. And that's not our advice.
No.
Me and Jay do not claim that advice.
No.
I'm going to go ahead and speak for you because I think that's safe.
So yeah, you can find me on Facebook and on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Tanya Marie Wintello. If you have questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and message us directly here on the Revolution Facebook page. Cody,
Hang on, I want to talk about the fact you just stole my line.
you're welcome. Go.
post all my questions, comments, concerns.
Oh.
Cody Vogus on Facebook.
Master Predator on.
Yeah, kind of. Magnus Apex on Twitter. I don't have an Instagram.
J Dillon on Facebook, which I won't add you anyway at this point. But J Dillon 4250 on Instagram, JC Show VIP on Twitter, and NEMAJ JAY. So Nina Jameson on Twitch.
What's your AOL account?
I do Twitch shows. In fact, I'm working on an interview series I'm going to start doing for
Really?
gaming. Yeah. Cool. My first one is going to be with the white supremacists, so it's going to be fun.
When do we know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alrighty, guys. Cody, would you like to take us out? Start singing.
Bye.